Hello everybody, I am back for part 3 of this little mini series on tools I actually use at home. There's, fun random things like the sliders that we're playing around with, but what do we actually use? What do I actually use our kids just for sharing and to hopefully prompt some more discussion and sharing here in the group and elsewhere where we have the video. So my last piece for today, we're going to look at bracing as a therapeutic term, and what that is for kind of means and looks like in our bodies, along with the one that I have and may or may not use very often. Little preface, as I've said in the other videos and more lengthily in part 1, this is common sense stuff. I am not selling anything, receiving any compensation for different brands I mention, and am not advocating that these are the exact solution for you because I might not know you. Hi, but I'm not going to presume that I know you, that I know your body, and what I do here could be very different than what we might actually be doing in a one-on-one session to work out some of these different things with you and your body, okay? So this is general, big picture with me and my body today, and there's infinite variations on that as well. Okay. I saved bracing for last. I talked a little bit about like the compression. This is different than bracing. Compression sleeves, we call them braces, but they're not restrictive macro. They're not macro restrictive. Like a leg brace stops you from moving. A neck brace stops the neck from moving for the most part. Compression bracing, or just compression as that term, provides proprioceptive feedback to the joint. That's it. Compression for swelling, pain, and the proprioceptive feedback that helps subconsciously retrain the motion of the joint. This is different. There's lots of neck braces out there. A lot of people have gone through a few of the other brands with love-hate relationships. This is the one that was the most successful for us and our kiddos. It's called the Thusain Eclipse. I got mine from Dr. Patel down in MUSC for CCI help and support. By the time I got it, I didn't need it very much because I was doing other mobility stuff post-surgically for my neck, and it rehabilitated the CCI quite a bit. Plus, the removal of the tethered cord released the vertebra about 1/4 to 1/2 inch, providing more height and more space for the vertebra, so my little neck motions weren't cutting off blood flow and spinal fluid anymore. Yay! They got that on camera. So there's more motion that can be done. The bottom line is, though, the neck is heavy, and this is a complicated issue, and some of us, the inflammation levels in the body are much more out of control. There's compression of the spinal cords. There's other complications where we do need something to stop the movement. It's just too much. My baseline is to just go lay down, for starters. I don't think we do that enough. We are very used to pushing our bodies through things and not giving them time to rest. So when your neck hurts and you're in pain, go lie down, flat, even. Take the weight off entirely and let those muscles rest, because just bracing them isn't providing rest. Not the same way. What this does is it transfers the weight of your head from the neck vertebra, hi puppy, to the shoulders. And if you have any shoulder issues and shoulder spine issues, that's not going to be a helpful solution every day long term. But for things like riding in a car and other ways, this is really nice. So this just pops on and off really easily. I can pinch it without hurting my hands, and I can just lay this over the side and it pops in. I react to the material, so I've kept my scarf on so that I can use the cotton to protect my neck. This also provides a nice amount of support in the back of the head. It doesn't push on the occiput, on the occipital lobe of the back of the head. There we go. And to loosen that up a little bit with my scarf inside. And to adjust, this just slides back out. And once you have it where you want it, so I can loosen that, once you have it where you want it in a standard position, it can stay there. You don't have to readjust it every single time you want to put it on. So I can just lay this over the back. My hair is getting in my way more than usual. And then that clips on. And then this can go up and down. So I can lift it and get a nice horizon view and just kind of rest and hang out here. This is really nice. It's not pushing on the back of my neck. It allows for a good cervical curve. And I can have more motion if I need it. We've also gotten them tiny enough to be able to fit on our very small children. Kind of amazing how that works out. But handy. Not for everyone, but handy. Some other approaches have been looking at a few of the new soft collars that they're producing now. The small, tight sizes are not good for us, but a larger size soft collar that simply allows cushion. People have been loving this one for car rides. I can kind of want to try it myself, where it's not this stiff, but it is enough to stabilize the motion of the vehicle. Like you can just gently lean into it and not feel it tight around the neck. So I'm excited where the soft collar realm is going. To finish up this video, I wanted to go a little bit deeper on the concept of bracing in our bodies, which I've been kind of mentioning throughout. Finding motion and mobility versus restricting motion and mobility. This is a complicated picture. You will harm your body if you restrict all of the joints. They are meant to move, but then they fall out, they subluxate, they dislocate for many people. I've had one. I also have dopa-responsive dystonia, so for a lot of life, the hypertension of that protected me from excessive dislocations, but I know many people that's an almost daily thing. So how do we find balance? Low and slow wins the race. You cannot go in and muscle through strengthening. Most of the time, pretty much 100% of the time, we shouldn't even start in standing, because what our bodies have to do is relearn movement that we didn't learn in development, that we didn't learn as infants. We have to rebuild the whole function of motion through the body, and babies don't start standing and walking. They start on the floor, on their belly, on their back. And the people I see, what helps me, and the people that I observe, even from a distance, that recover the best and the fastest and improve, do the same thing. Muldowney was a breakthrough because he was one of the first Western physical therapists to get published that was breaking things down to work on the floor, rebuild basic muscle movement. But even Muldowney protocols are not nuanced enough for a lot of us. There's still too much, which is why I've been working really hard in investing in the Bones for Life certification to both make sure it works, then could work for us, and then learn how to teach it and help inspire others to go into movement processes like this, because the gentleness of it, leaning against a wall and rotating the shoulders like this, not very big. Putting a very light weight on the head and walking. There are very, very gentle, easy ways to keep our bodies moving and get them stronger that our doctors and our therapists, they don't know how to use, because most bodies aren't ours. More of them are. So whenever we're approaching bracing, and you're figuring out what goes on in your body, we can get a lot of immediate relief. But ultimately, we have to get the body to redevelop. It's not rehabilitation, it's like redevelopment, to rework out the dysfunction. And when we go that low and slow and we give our bodies that time, we can do a lot of great things. You know, I've been working on my shoulders for 2.5 years now, and I can now juggle 2-pound weights. And this will not cause me to pass out or pain. For most of what I might need to do in life, that's pretty good. That's enough. I don't need to become a power lifter. It tones the muscles. I can do this nice and slow and gently. I can move around the body. Goal met. But I spent 2.5 years slowly, carefully, easily developing that motion and that stability again. And we often aren't given that time. So in all your fun tools and in all the different things that I hope you guys share, that's the last piece I wanted to share, is give yourselves time. Try to make it enjoyable when you can. There's so little joy in a lot of our lives. Find the simple things that you can do and have around you and use that can be fun and helpful, and then give it time. Redevelop from the ground up. Yeah. And please feel free to reach out if you want to join any of my Bones for Life classes, or have any help, need any help figuring out some different ideas and stuff more specifically for you and your body.